Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fun List Friday here on the Eat Sleep List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your host, and with the MLB All-Star Game coming up Tuesday, July 15th, we're going to be talking about jerseys, all right, and some of the best ones in baseball history. That's right, we are talking MLB jerseys. Let's make a list. Before we get going today, I just wanted to send some happy birthday wishes to my sister Samantha. She's turning 32 today, so happy birthday, sis. Looking forward to celebrating with you and the rest of the family later. We're talking baseball today, and specifically baseball jerseys. And I have to admit, I almost did not do this episode. That's how I've been feeling about this topic because out of the four major sports in North America, football, basketball, hockey, baseball uniforms are probably the worst not worst, but least interesting. Let's just say that. There are some great ones, which we're going to talk about today, but they are the least interesting of the bunch. And I'm pretty sure that I think most people would agree with that statement. But that is part of the charm of baseball. Baseball is rooted in tradition. All right, it is America's favorite pastime. The sport's been going on since the middle of the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. But really hitting you don't really hear about it being like this major professional sport until I feel like the 1880s, maybe 1890s, where it's really starting to become this thing. Like being a professional baseball player is a means of employment, is a means of earning a living, and it's really cool. As a history buff, I don't know the in-depth history of baseball, but post Civil War era, it was a fun recreational game, and it's really started to emerge on the big scene. All of a sudden, newspapers are putting aside space to talk about professional baseball games and so on and so forth. But that's, I think, why I do appreciate the game of baseball. It's fun to play. It's really fun to play. And I do enjoy watching it, but I like watching it live. I actually, I once heard baseball described as 5 minutes of action packed into 3 hours. I mean, kind of, sort of, right? They really, I know they're trying to up the tempo a little bit. I think they still have the pitching clock going on. I think that was a thing that they introduced recently, and they're still maintaining. But trying to add more excitement to this traditional game. You don't want to tweak it too much where it loses its identity. Because, again, the reason why people love it so much is because it's rooted in tradition. But I do. I appreciate baseball for what it is. And it's a little slow moving in the as far as changing, and I'm glad about that. Because, again, appreciating the history, the tradition. You can look at a baseball game from 100 years ago, footage of a baseball game from 100 years ago, and it's still recognizable, I think, in some cases. Football has changed dramatically, for the better, over the years. But, basketball, I think it's changed. I would dare so say it's changed dramatically. Hockey, I don't necessarily know so much, but I think it speaks volumes to the sport of baseball that it looks so similar, that it hasn't changed that much. That means they got it right almost from the get-go before it emerged as this big professional sport. But I haven't really talked about it much, but baseball has actually been a pretty important part of my life. Out of every single sport that I have ever done, all right, that includes wrestling, which was what I was most successful at. Playing baseball I did the longest. I played the most seasons of that. I played 8 years of Little League baseball. And that's almost like a rite of passage. Like, I feel like most kids find a way into they whether it's t-ball, whether they play at all different different sort of little leagues, but I really I think that's what drew me back into doing this episode, was thinking about my early childhood and how much baseball, how prominent it was in my life. Like, my dad is like one of my heroes, like legit. And I always used to love watching the old videos of him as a kid playing baseball. He was built like a baseball player. He was slim, very athletic, and he just looked the part. I'm sure it hurt his soul how much I pushed back on playing baseball. It was just a different era, and I legit hated leaving the house, much like I do today. But I, again, I have fond memories of it. While being involved in it, I didn't necessarily like it. A lot of coaches' kids. I was technically a coach's kids, but my dad didn't really run too many teams that I was on. But I was around a lot of coaches' kids who made their kids the star, even though when they probably shouldn't have been out there. But I had no interest in I had minimal interest in being out there. But there was excitement. There was, there was the tryouts every single year, and there was seeing who your coach was, who your teammates were, and the best part of Little League, I thought too, was finding out which team you were on, right? Which major league team are we going to rip off this year, right? Because you got the hat, you got the jersey with it. It was cool. I remember some of them. I have 6 of them written down. I think I might remember a 7th one. My parents could probably clarify for this, and I'm probably gonna remember all 8 teams when I'm all done today after recording, so I can't even go back into it. But my first team was the Orioles. I played on the Mariners. I'm pretty sure I was on the Red Sox. I did the Reds, Angels, Diamondbacks, Athletics. I might have been the Giants. I can't remember. I know there's pictures somewhere. But I'm most positive I did the Red Sox, and I'm pretty sure it broke my dad's heart because he's grew up in a Yankees household. But that was the excitement of it. All right, it was a big part of my childhood, and it shaped me in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, so baseball has been an important part of my life, and really excited to talk about some of these awesome uniforms. Lessons from the list. I mean, I can carry over some of the previous lessons mentioned in the hockey and the basketball jersey list, but if you've never experienced a baseball game, go see a baseball game. There's a lot of opportunity out there. We have there's actually one like a lower tier baseball team that plays not too far away from where I currently live, and I don't know if it's Niagara Power anymore, or if it is Niagara Power or Storm or something like that. I would not go see that, but Buffalo Bisons, that's more up my alley. Going to see the Bisons play would be, is always a fun thing. We went to many night games going to see the Bisons play, and they've been a farm team for a bunch of different organizations. I think currently they're with Toronto, the Blue Jays, but again, I don't follow baseball all that much. But they're fun to go to. I made 2 special trips to go see the Yankees play. I've talked about those, seeing Yankees Orioles and Yankees Red Sox, and those were awesome games to be a part of, to feel that environment, especially. The first time was special, just going to the new Yankee Stadium, walking in and seeing that, but also the night game and just seeing how wild and rowdy that New York gets when it comes to watching baseball. But another thing is just I think debating or discussing sports jerseys is a fun icebreaker for people. You really get to know somebody when you start talking about sports jerseys. In fact, one of my good friends, when it comes to podcasting, we met discussing sports jerseys, baseball specifically. He was doing a podcast on his own kind of brand. We pulled him into our network doing a poll tournament where me and him came together. We made some concessions. We and discussed and set up a whole baseball, or not just baseball, but a whole jersey bracket from all sports. And it was a lot of fun to do that, to set that up and meet him through that. I have a lot of great discussions about jerseys with various folks, and I encourage it. It's a nice topic of conversation, great icebreaker, and getting to know somebody and what their tastes are in a sports uniform. All right, everybody, as I always say, please comment along. Let's hear it. Your favorite MLB jerseys of all time. I know I just posted a short about it a couple of weeks ago prior to this recording, but comment again if you feel free to, if you want to. If you haven't commented before on the previous short, do it here. There's a great opportunity to do so. I would love to see what tickles your fancy when it comes to MLB jerseys. These all stand out to me because they're non-traditional, I feel. In a world where, most baseball jerseys are like a white base or a gray base, this is, all these stand out because they come off super unique. They come off super special. So I hope you like it. Let's get to it. My number 10. I'm going to go team-wise, the first Little League baseball team that I ever played for, which was the Orioles. But I had a gray shirt for my T-ball league. I think if I could find the picture at home, I'm going to put it up here in the video. But the one I am most in awe about is the black with the big cursive lettering, Orioles on the front. And I love the hat. I love the hat because that's the hat that I had. But I love the black base on jersey. There's at least one more black base jersey that I'm going to talk about. But it's such a basic color, but it just stands out. And the orange pops so much on the black base jersey. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's beautiful. They started there's a weird version in '94, but they really pulled these bad boys out as alternates in 1995, and I think they stopped them. They kind of use them still. There's been some updates, some modifications to them, but that '95 one is just chef's kiss, beautiful. They really haven't changed all that much. They still use them kind of presently. I'm scrolling through, but actually, I don't like that 0203 version. Let's just say 95 to 2000. Really, really well done. So that's my number 10. All right, my number 9. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds here, and I'm actually going to choose their all red uniforms, jerseys. I played for the Reds and the Reds, not the Reds, but Little League Reds. I can't drive that point home enough, but these alternate ones are just sweet, and they've been primarily like the white with the red pinstripes. They've had all sorts of different, variations, but the debut of the all reds just is like it. I feel like it just breaks tradition. Right, I just feel like you don't get too many uniforms that are like that, especially in the world of baseball. But they busted them out in 2003 is what I read. And to go along with their Great American Ballpark inaugural season, they put a patch on it. And, it's just cool. I might have actually owned like a legit Cincinnati Reds jersey at one point. Yeah, it just, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's different. Red primary base. You got the white C on the left breast. I think it'd be left breast, and the black shadow lettering. It stands out. So number 9, Cincinnati Reds. Really like that one. I like it a lot. All right, number 8. We're gonna go with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, but it's that black one that debuted in 1998. They only wore it a handful of times, but from 98 to 2000 actually. I love the like the like that. It's not even a rainbow, but that like holographic lettering. Like it feels very Florida-like. Like you see it on like a fishing boat or like while like it's a color scheme that you feel you just associate with fishing. If that makes like it's hard to describe. But I love that the lettering is different across, the color wise. And again, black base jersey and just the color popping. All right. I can imagine that the reason why they don't do too many black jerseys is because of how hot it is in Tampa Bay and most of the country when they're playing. And obviously, if you've passed a elementary school science class, you know that black attracts heat. But yeah, it stands out. It's really, really cool. It came at a different, I mean, just a different era. It just feels very 90s and turn of the century. So yeah, especially because they're a newer team at this point too. But yeah, Devil Rays comes in at number 8 for me. All right, my number 7. Going back to the old wheelhouse here. We're gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers, but they're 1970 to 1989. Like it's an alternate color scheme, but it's that baby blue with the yellow. You all know that I love that so much. I think every list that we've done so far, I've looked and seeked out that color scheme. It is attractive to me. This 1975 version is probably like my favorite. I mean, at 75, 76, it's a good. I mean, it's a cool color scheme. They did use generally that color scheme to 89, but the jersey had some tweaks. But I enjoy pre-78. What that is, and it's just different because the Brewers have had a overhaul, like complete color overhaul. I like the hat that was with it too. They got some fun hats. They had some fun hats back then, but for some reason, in the late 70s or the mid to late 70s, everybody started going with powder blue uniforms. We're going to talk about one or two others. I don't know why. I don't know. It feels like there's all sorts of these trends that come about when it comes to sports uniforms. We talked about the mid-90s NBA, how everybody started switching their team colors up. Like Cleveland had a weird color scheme. There's a couple other ones that we mentioned. Detroit, Golden State, like they all just flipped their color schemes and uniforms around to something vastly different. And actually, hockey did that a little bit too. But for baseball, it was the 70s, and everybody, it felt like, was trying to go for the baby blue or powder blue look, and Milwaukee was one of them. So that's what we're going to go with for our number 7. We're going to go. All right, my number 6. We're going back to the powder blue wheelhouse, and this time this one I think just stands out significantly because of the way that they utilize the other colors. I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals that they used from the 1976 to 84. Again, following in that powder blue trend that was going on about that time. I had no idea that they went with the blue. It's not even powder. Is it powder? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, but it looks good. It stands out. And the Cardinals jerseys generally are pretty cool. The gray with the red bird and the yellow bat. But there's something about this powder blue that makes it pop and work for me. I loved the Cardinals as a kid. I was a big Mark McGwire fan, and I associated McGwire with the Cardinals because that's who he played for when I was coming into baseball. I had a poster. I had an action figure. I was obsessed with Mark McGwire and all the juice and everything. He made him. Listen, the steroid era is very controversial, but it was an exciting time to watch baseball. Although I will not encourage performance-enhancing drugs, watching dudes hit dingers, left and right out of the ballpark was an exciting time to watch the game. But that's neither here nor there. This is what we're looking at. Cardinals jersey, not much more to say about it. It's cool. I like it. Up my alley. We're moving on to our number 5. This team is going to be moving to Vegas, or no, they would have moved to Vegas already. Again, so out of the loop. I don't follow baseball as much as I should. But we're going to be talking about the A's, and we'll do the Oakland A's. Their primary green and yellow one that's been iconic forever. They've been using it in some way, shape, or form since the 70s. And again, should we talk about tradition? White primary base, gray primary base. Something like this comes out and it blows people's minds. It's a cool thing to look at, and it is like green and yellow is not like outside of. I'm trying to think of teams that might use that color scheme, and I think outside of the Seattle SuperSonics, I don't know too many teams who use this. I know the California Golden Seals used it in hockey before they used that blue and yellow that I love so much, but other than that, Packers, Green Bay Packers, idiot. They're pretty popular, but the green and yellow is good, especially in the world of baseball. Tradition, use the green and yellow, stand out. Looks good. Not much more to say about that. So that's my number 5. Number 4. It's my last powder blue, I swear to God. Montreal Expos. We're going to go to the Expos here. This classic, vintage, beautiful baseball team. I like I think the logo helps it out. The logo is pretty prominent on there with the red, white, and blue, the way it's formulated. But I think this is one of and the hat too. The hat makes this uniform just excellent. Even though we're just focusing on the jerseys, the hat makes it stand out pretty cool too. I think if you ask just about anybody who enjoys MLB uniforms, that they're going to say the Expos are top 10 at the very least. Sometimes you get top 5. Sometimes people say they're the best uniforms of all time. It really depends on who you ask. But they're almost always in a top 10 list at the very least. And yeah, my affinity for powder blue, it is reared its beautiful head on another list. So Montreal Expos, that is my number 4. All right, my number 3. We're going to be talking about the San Diego Padres, and I think everybody knows where I'm going with this. It's the primary brown with the yellow lettering, the yellow and orange trim around the arms and neck. Standing out, popping out. It's different, and the color scheme just works. We had a school around here called LaSalle High School in the area, and they use the brown and yellow color scheme, and I never got to experience that or live through that, but it's a color scheme that has long caught my eye. Even the white alternate is pretty cool too with the orange lettering. I don't know if I like that one better. It's hard to say, but I think I'm going to stick with the brown. I've already posted the image of it. We're going to leave it as is. They used it from 80 to 84, so it didn't have a very long run before they went back. They went with the traditional pinstripe look after that. But San Diego Padres, it's my number 3. My number 2 favorite is the Houston Astros. Everybody's favorite team. They love to hate. They love to hate now. I think that cheating scandal was it sign stealing or whatever they were doing, it is still in the back of everybody's mind. In 1975, the Astros debuted their rainbow jersey, they call it. All sorts of different shades of red, yellow, orange, brown. It looks really cool. I love the 70 version. It's got the big star around the rib cage area. Another one that's very, very popular, usually a top 5er for anybody who discusses and ranks MLB jerseys. I love the Denver Nuggets one for the 80s for the rainbow sky one. Even though it's a very different, it's Houston. Like, you look at that and it just feels warm. Like, the colors are very hot, warm colors that they're using for their rainbow. It just makes sense for Houston, and it's a great choice for that. Getting away from, I'm sure they bring it back from time to time, but yeah, it's a cool one. It's a pretty cool one. It should be treated special, though. I was having this debate with my brother with the Chargers and their powder blues, and the Chargers have really gone in on the powder blue stuff almost too much as a detriment. Or now me and my brother are like, you know what? They should bring back those dark blue ones that they had back like the 90s and the early 2000s. It's an interesting point. It would be cool to see a jersey like that back full time, but also you'd probably get sick of it after a while and want it just for specialty. It may less is more. We've talked about that. Less is more. So that's my number 2, the Houston Astros rainbow jersey. All right, my number 1. Despite me wearing this Yankees jersey that I've had for a very, very long time, there is another team in New York who has a really, really good jersey, and it is the New York Mets. They're black, blue, and orange jersey. It is gorgeous. It pops so much. It's beautiful. Hands down my favorite. I have a few friends who are Mets fans, and they didn't hold any influence on me for this selection, I can assure you of that. But man, like, what a night and day difference. You had the primary whites, the primary grays, and then you go to the black, and everything pop, like brighter colors pop with the black. Orange and blue is one of my favorite color combinations, a list that we may be doing at some point very soon. And yeah, it just looks good. Again, this is probably the only baseball jersey that I own to this day. I would totally rock a black, blue, and orange Mets jersey. My dad wouldn't like it. I don't think he'd appreciate it very much. But it looks good. It looks good. There it is, everybody. Nice and easy one. I know we went very long last week with the 4th of July stuff, especially the President's episode. So I wanted to keep it simple and bring it down a little bit. Bring the duration of an episode down just a smidgen. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this. If you are an avid baseball fan, I hope you enjoy the All-Star game. All right. Maybe I'll tune in. I almost have to now. I almost feel obligated at this point because I'm doing a list on the topic. But thank you so much, as always, for watching. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great weekend. And till next time, do you even list?